Welcome to the Tech Matchmaker, the show where contact center challenges meet their perfect tech match. I'm your host, Gina Gibson, and in just 15 minutes, we serve up the smartest, coolest innovations shaking up the contact center industry. Whether you're searching for your next solution or just love staying ahead of the curve, we've got the insights to keep you in the know. Let's dive in and discover what's next. I promise you, it's going to be fun. Hello, everyone. Today we are chatting with Milan Batinich, the CEO and founder of Milan Motivates and co-host of the podcast Build a Better BPO. Milan, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Gina, thank you so much for having me. Anytime I have the opportunity to have a conversation with you and to see your smiling face, I am thrilled. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I'm like, when do I get to hop on with Gina?
Oh, thank you so much. Milan, let's start with the basics. Tell us all a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been in the contact center industry pretty much my whole life. So 20 plus years, a lot in the BPO industry. Came up, like most people, started as an agent and moved into operations management, moved into sales. And yeah, when I was growing up, I did not want to be a contact center person. Nobody, I think, says, when they're in 8th grade, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to work in a contact center. I don't think I knew what that was back then. But here I am, still in the space, and I love it. I don't think I'd trade it for anything.
Excellent. Now, I always like to ask somebody, tell us one thing that we won't find out about you on LinkedIn. And knowing you as close as I do, there's probably a million things you could tell us, but narrow it down to one for us.
Let's see. That's a great question. So I always post about my running and cycling. So that's on LinkedIn. I can't talk about that. So something personal. Over the last few years, I have gone through I would say a massive faith deconstruction. I have deconstructed my faith, and I don't think anyone on LinkedIn knows about that. So
perfect. Thank you. And I know you have a book coming out, and I can't wait to read that as well. So
I'm so happy. I'm going to send you a copy. You're on the list.
What inspired you, Milan, to create your consulting company?
Great question again. So I would say really lies within my passion. So I remember years ago when I was promoted from being a contact center, or back then call center agent, to a supervisor role, the leader that I had at the time advised me, Milan, just make all of your agents a great agent like you were when you were an agent. I'm like, okay, great. So tactically, I'm prepared. I know the technical expertise. I know all of that information. I know how to make all of these agents great, but I did not know how to lead people at all. I was a terrible leader of other human beings. It was horrible. A horrible experience for them, I know for sure. It was definitely a horrible experience for me. So over the years, I went back to school for psychology and human behaviors and really wanted to focus on there's such low employee engagement in a lot of industries, but especially contact centers. And, if we all have this life to enjoy the work that we're doing, we should be able to manage other people the way they want and need to be managed. And we should be able to be managed the way we want and need to be managed as an employee. So really, it's been my mission to help organizations teaching their leaders how to manage human beings, how to lead human beings, how to treat other people. It's amazing to me how some people know outside of work how to treat people, but then once they walk through those office doors or log into Zoom or Slack or Teams, and then all of a sudden they're a totally different person and I don't know how to be kind to other humans.
And I think part of that is growing up, right? Like you said, when you first became a supervisor, learning how to manage other people, without training, it's not anything that people just innately have, I don't think.
Right.
There are born leaders, but those skills need to be honed.
Yeah, exactly. I remember a specific time an older employee on the floor came up to me and she's like, Milan, I just need to take, a 15-minute break. I got to put my cat down after my shift today and I'm heartbroken. And I didn't say this to her, but my thought was, who cares? Like, why? How is that my problem? Like, get back on the phone. And luckily I didn't say that to her. That might have been the end of my career right then. But then looking back, I'm like, wow, so rigid, so terrible.
Yeah.
Such a terrible leader.
Not focused. So tell me, what services does Milan Motivates offer that does help leaders be better leaders?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So I just produced and finalized a toolkit called the Frontline Manager Starter Kit, made specifically for those team leads or those supervisors, those managers that might not have led people before, or maybe they are leading people, but they want more direction on how to lead people. And it's a 6-video series that people can buy on my website or message me to purchase. And it's really focused on how to manage other people. So self-awareness, so for those leaders, understanding who they are, how they come across to their employees, and then secondarily, how to treat their employees, how to manage their employees. We go into one-on-one coaching, how to handle underperformance, how to bridge the gap, because we know there's a gap between executive leadership and agents. So how can that ops manager bridge the gap between their agents and executive leadership, and how to communicate both ways, how to have that communication flow. So really it's to help, improve employee engagement, reduce employee turnover or attrition, and really build cohesive teams. So we do that through the video series. We do that through team building workshops and leadership strategic workshops. I do that through speaking engagements. And then I also sell and service the Predictive Index, which is a behavioral and cognitive assessment tool that helps with all of that, employee engagement and how to treat other people.
Excellent. And I know that you've seen a huge application for this in the BPO space, and you're quite involved in the BPO space with your podcast. Why do you think, or why do BPOs in particular maybe need a different approach when it comes to leadership and development?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, the way BPOs are run is culturally, a lot of times there's so many different brands that they represent. So culturally, it's harder for BPOs to identify who they are as an organization. Where if you're a brand, I'll pick on one of my clients. If you're General Mills, you're a brand. Being General Mills, you build out a culture, you build out that brand, you have a way that you treat your employees. As a BPO that maybe services General Mills and many other brands, you're trying to be an extension of that company's culture. But sometimes a lot of that will get lost within your own culture because each employee identifies to a certain brand that they're representing. So I think it's difficult to really have your BPO stand out culturally versus kind of falling into, okay, we adopt General Mills's culture, we adopt American Express's culture, we adopt all these different companies' cultures. And so how do we still have our culture and to be able to have our employees engaged and happy to come to work every day? Because I think a lot of times I've seen with BPOs, you have highly engaged employees on certain programs because they're being managed and treated based on that brand's culture.
Right. And then I think too, and even in your earlier kind of example that you gave with the cat, like your focus was probably on the metrics, right? And
Right.
We know that there's a very strong focus on the metrics versus maybe like, the metrics culture over people-focused culture and leadership. So how do you help the organizations kind of balance the two where, yes, you have goals and metrics that you need to do, but your people are what's going to help you get there?
Yeah, I think there's an old adage that says, if you treat your employees well, then they'll treat your customers well. So I think that if you prioritize, and I know this is going to go against the grain and what a lot of people believe, but if you treat your employees well, internally, if you manage them well based on how they need to be managed, I'm not saying like throw more gift cards at them or anything like that, but if you treat them the way they need to be treated, it's going to result in better KPIs. And I've seen that with clients where they treated their employees better and their KPIs rose and got a lot better because the employees were more engaged. They were happy to be at work. They were happy to help the customer on the phone or through chat or email. And so it resulted in better KPIs. So I definitely agree with balancing, but I think if more focus than is put on the employee than is currently put on the employee, that will lead to better metric results.
I agree entirely. And, as we continue to do these podcasts and talk to different people in the industry, one of the common themes that's finally coming out, right? Like CX was all the buzz a few years ago. Now we know it's AI, but I really see that everybody's coming together to realize that the employee experience, so EX equals CX, right? Just
Right.
exactly what you're saying. And that is such an important factor not to get lost. So if BPO leaders are listening today, what is one thing you think you could tell them that they could start doing today that would help their team that might be feeling burnt out or disconnected? What is just one tip you might want to give them?
I'll do it in one word: communicate. Communication, whichever version you want to use, but communicate. I think a lot of leaders get tied up or in the weeds or in the mud when it comes to, okay, how do I do a better job for my employees? just communicate with them. Ask them what they want. Ask them what they need. Because, I've had leaders ask me, BPO leaders ask me, well, how is there a magic pill, or is there a subscription I buy? What do I do to fix this? Is there software? Is there a tool? I mean, there are tools and all of that out there. But really, if you want to start today and do it quickly for zero cost, it's going to cost you 10 seconds to send out a message to your employees. What can we be doing better? How can I be a better leader for you? Now, sometimes leaders don't want to hear the responses, but you want to be able to create an environment where employees feel comfortable responding and where you will feel comfortable taking everything to heart and making changes. So really, for one thing you can do today, communicate with your employees, find out what's going well, what can be going better, and go from there.
And I think you nailed it on the head. What will you listen to and then actually put into action, right? Because getting the information and doing nothing is going to leave probably a greater dissatisfaction level than not asking.
Right.
Share with us the success story of one of your customers, Milan.
Yeah, so I would say my favorite success story, it's a BPO based in Austin, Texas, Austin Metro. And went in there to help them. They were having 90% annual attrition. Wow. Yeah. So what is that, like almost 7.5% attrition per month? And the problem was they were an inbound sales contact center. So people would call up, say, hey, I saw this product online or on TV, I want to buy it. And inbound CSRs would answer the call, process the order, and move on to the next caller. The problem was their main KPI was to upsell and cross-sell. Well, hey, if they're calling for, say, a necklace, upsell them the bracelet, the earrings, the ring, all of the other pieces that we can sell to them. And so they were having 90% attrition because they were really focused on managing people that were built for inbound customer service. They were managing them to sell. So what we did was we identified, okay, well, number one, as you hire new reps, you need to have that expectation that this isn't just processing orders. You need to set the expectation that they're going to be needing to sell. So that way they know coming in. Because a lot of people were getting burnt out because they're like, nope, I just want to process orders and move on. I don't want to ask those questions to people. And so we identified ways to help them with their recruiting, their onboarding, their training. And we were able to figure out ways to manage each employee that they had on staff appropriately to improve their engagement. First year, they went from 90% annual attrition to just under 15%. Wow. And we also found that during the nesting period, so from day one of training through about day 60, so training plus about a month, that 90% of their 90% annual attrition was happening in the first 2 months. And so we were able to lower that nesting period attrition down to 4%.
Those are impressive numbers.
Yeah, thanks. And we're able to make some waves. And that first year, they just about tripled their top line revenue because now everybody was asking for the cross-sell and we're asking for the upsell. And the callers were like, oh, you're right. Those earrings would go great with this necklace. Let's go for it. So it wasn't a difficult sell. So they were able to triple their average order on each call.
That's incredible. Tell us, with the trends that you're seeing in the market today, what do you think is going to be? I mean, we all know with AI and what's the impact on BPOs or just on employees in general? What are you seeing in the market and what are you excited about when you see what's happening out there?
Yeah, so along the vein of AI, I'm really excited to see how BPOs and how contact centers are going to upskill their human employees. So I'm really excited to see the opportunities that are going to come from AI for, say, tier one inbound agents to be able to move up and learn other skills and be able to maybe be the individuals who are training the AI within their contact center. So I'm really looking forward to better opportunities for a lot of the contact center agents.
Excellent. And to wrap things up, Milan, I've always been a fan of James Lipton. And so to end the podcast, we do 3 little rapid fire questions. So what is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Sorry, I know it's rapid fire. My favorite word is discipline.
What is your least favorite word?
Oh, can't. Cannot.
And what excites you the most?
What excites me the most is being able to do what I love, having joy and energy, doing my work with passion, peace, and purpose, and helping other people to be able to do that as well.
I love it. If Milan, if somebody wants to know more information on your services, who should they reach out to?
Yeah, so Milan at milanmotivates.com. They can go to milanmotivates.com. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere on LinkedIn, so they can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah. If my phone
Excellent.
number's out there, text me, call me, whatever you want to do.
Perfect. A big thank you to Milan for joining us today and for sharing their insights. It's always great to talk to people focusing on the true superstars in our industry, which are the employees. So, Milan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Gina.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Tech Matchmaker. I hope today's spotlight sparks some fresh ideas and real solutions for your contact center. Want to dive deeper into the tech we featured? Hit up the show notes for all the links and extras, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if there's a challenge you want us to tackle, don't be shy, reach out. I'll catch you soon with more innovation, more use cases, and more ways to keep your business moving forward. Stay curious, stay bold, and keep exploring what's next.